Hi guys, it's Ashley with Stage Right Secrets. In 2015 at the ATX Television Festival, I saw a hilarious group of women, and they go by the name the Katydids. They're a comedy ensemble originally from Chicago, and they've performed for everyone from Second City to Broadway in Chicago to TBS. And last year, they launched the TV Land Comedy Teachers, which they all collaborated to create, write, and produce. And it was just picked up for a 20-episode second season. So I'm very excited to be joined by one of the teachers, Cate Freedman.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Very good. Thanks for having me on, Ashley.
So I just caught the first episode. They put it out a little bit early on TV Lands, and I just was dying. I could not stop laughing the entire time.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. Thank you so much for watching our first episode of the new season.
Is it just always one big party on the set when you guys are filming?
To be honest, it kind of is. It's kind of I think best described as just going to summer camp every day, and we have a blast with each other, of course, but we also have a very, very hilarious, talented crew too. So it truly is one big party.
And tell me a little bit more about when you all first got to know each other back in Chicago and how the idea for the show came together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really kind of funny story of a very interesting path we took as a group. Caitlin Barlow, one of the other Katydids, formed the group. We were all six of us were students and performers at IO Chicago, studying improv and sketch comedy. And Caitlin knew all six of us. And at the time, there was a show at IO called Radical Concepts. And Caitlin thought that it would be a really fun idea to apply to get into the show with an improv show that was, six different Kates. And she reached out to us and we were all in. Some of us knew each other and some of us didn't. And we were all game to try to do the show together. Unfortunately, we got rejected, but we still wanted to go ahead and just do the show anyway. So we ended up getting to perform together at a black box theater down the street from IO, opening for our friends improv group Claymore at the Playground Theater. And we kind of just intended to get together one night and do one improv show. And some of us just shook hands for the first time before going on stage that night. And we had a blast and had a really super fun show. And afterwards we thought, hey, that was really fun. We could do it again. And everyone was like, yeah, sure, let's do it again. So maybe a few weeks later, we did another improv show. And then after that, we ended up doing another one and another one, and kind of fell into this wonderful accidental group, and we started calling ourselves the Katydids, and we started doing regular improv shows, and eventually we got to do a run at IO Chicago, and we started writing sketch comedy too. And we found that a great way to promote our shows was to make videos for the internet, promoting them, or just sketches, or just brief little things or ideas we had. And we started doing that, and we were like, man, this is really fun, and this is something we really like to do together, and it's something that we kind of feel like, well, this is something we're good at, and it's a great way for us to share our comedy and get people to come to see our shows. So we started to look more into that as a group, and we decided that we wanted to do a web series. So we ended up as a group coming up with some ideas and working with a production company in Chicago towards shooting a web series about a mega church. And asked a great friend of ours in Chicago, who's a really wonderful casting director and director at large, Matt Miller. We said, hey, Matt, will you come on and direct our mega church web series? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. Well, unfortunately, or I guess kind of fortunately, now that you look at this wonderful story we have, the megachurch thing fell through and it didn't end up happening. So a few weeks after that fell through, a few of us met up with Matt Miller, who was supposed to direct the failed web series, and he said, I think it would be really funny if the Katydids played teachers. The six of you really look like teachers. And we we laughed at first, and then we were like, wow, you know what? You're right. That's a really funny idea. And Matt Miller continued on to tell us that he had been listening to NPR earlier in the week, and it was just kind of a program about teachers on at the time, and they reflected that teaching was one of the most, if not the most respected profession, but it was also the most adulterous. And we laughed again, and there was something so fascinating about that to us as well as Matt. And we went back and met with the Katydids, and everyone was like, that's a great idea. So the six of us started creating each of our own characters together, and we started writing some webisodes and sketches for one another and for ourselves. And then we started meeting up with Matt and sharing the sketches and writing all together. And we ended up teaming up with an exceptional production company who has an office in Chicago, Capgun Collective, who had done incredible work in the commercial space, but who is kind of starting to venture over into more scripted, regular kind of television or web content. And we partnered with them, and it was such a whirlwind. It was so fun. We made a Kickstarter, and we did as much fundraising as we could, and we ended up shooting a really, really, really fun web series outside of Chicago, in Evanston, at actually at the real middle school that I had attended back in the day. And they were so generous to us that they offered us a free location. So that made this even that much more possible. And again, Capgun got so many resources together for us at no charge, and favors and all of these amazing things. And everyone, was all hands on deck, and we made this really, really wonderful thing that we were so excited about. And even before we started editing the webisodes, we knew we wanted to do more, but we weren't sure how we were going to do it yet. And I think all of us kind of had just assumed, we'll do a second season of the web series, or we'll, just, continue, where we left off, or, try to do something more. And as we started to edit the episodes that we shot, and as we started to get them online, we got such a positive, incredibly positive response, and we were all a little, taken aback, because we didn't know, you never know when you create something, you love it, and your fellow creators love it, but you never really know if something's funny until you get it out there. And
Yeah, absolutely.
people were right, it's everything's a crapshoot, so people responded positively, and that really encouraged us more. And we wanted to make a pilot, and we reached out to an agent I was working with at William Morris at the time, who introduced us to an amazing TV lit agent that took the project on. And we were really, really lucky, I think, to have not just such a positive path, but one that allowed us to continue on our momentum to such an amazing platform on TV land.
That's incredible how all the pieces sort of came together organically, and each thing led to another. Has the process overall of working on the show been similar to what you thought making a TV show would be, or has it been totally different?
Oh my gosh. All of us, this is all of our first experiences in television, and I think that it's exceeded every expectation that I ever kind of had. You dream about it for so long, and you don't really know what it's like, and you wonder what it's like, and you make up these stories in your head, and this is what it's going to be like. But it's truly nothing like I imagined it would be. But in the best way. We all kind of, the six of us, when we reflect on this like amazing journey, we kind of laugh about how we consider our first season and our pilot too as like a true like master class in television writing and television, production, being executive producers. What does that mean, and what work does that entail? And really learning so much. We were really lucky again to have met with some amazing people to bring onto the show, two of which are Roberts and Jay Martel. They are our showrunners, and they had recently just came off their final season with Key and Peele, which is a show that all six of us are total geeks for. We're huge fans and love it.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
It's so great, right? We just, huge fans, and it was, a surreal moment to meet Ian and Jay, and it was even crazier when they agreed to work on the show, and they served as such great leaders in, kind of leading us through our first experience and teaching us, and it's been great. It's, it still is kind of hard to believe that all of it's happened in a way, if that makes any sense, but
Yeah.
It's been a great experience.
So when we start the season on episode 1, Feldman is on the road. She's teaching her first day of school from the iPad.
Right.
Any sneak peeks on what we can expect for her character throughout the season?
Gosh, well, of course you can expect her typical Feldman hijinks, but I think one thing that you can potentially look forward to is seeing Feldman get a little bit more serious about being a teacher in her own special way. And we get to see her tackle some more traditional school subjects. Season 1, she might have been teaching a class about steel, but, this season we might get to see her try to teach math.
Wow. And is there any episode either from season 1 or coming up that has been your favorite, the most fun to film so far?
Oh my gosh. All of them have been, honestly, I'm, not messing around when I say I'm so excited for all of these season 2 episodes for them to come out, because each one is so special. But one that really comes to mind that we just finished shooting right before Christmas last month was an episode where Feldman and her class have to go through a drug education program. And it's one of my favorite episodes, and Andy Daly guest stars as our drug education program officer, and it's really fun. And it was such a, again, we're all huge comedy geeks and huge fans of Andy Daly, so to have him on as a guest star was such an honor, and he's hysterical in the episode. So I'd say that one is one I'm very excited about.
And how does the writing process work with the whole team of you? How do you collaborate, and do you switch off?
Yeah, absolutely. We, kind of it all starts from coming in with ideas we have. Some are more thought out than others, and some are larger ideas than others, but we brainstorm, and then we come together as a group and throw everything into a big pot and get, we're very, obviously we have sketch comedy and improv roots, so we're all very collaborative, and from there we, take a vote as a group and pick our favorites and kind of kick it off that way, and we each pair off on scripts and go from there. It's a really fun and exhilarating process because it's something we feel is very special because, we not only get to act on the show, but we get to write what we act and say and do, and we feel really grateful to have that opportunity. So it's really special to us to be able to have so much creative control.
That's awesome. And do you still get a chance to do improv at all on the side?
As often as I can, when little shows pop up. We were for a while between, we didn't have much of a break between uh, the pilot to season 1 to season 2. But when we did a few shows out here at IO West and also UCB. But this larger 20 episode order has kind of taken over, so we haven't been able to do as much improv as we would have liked.
Well, before we go, I would love to know, is there any one thing you're particularly enjoying in pop culture right now, whether another TV show, movie, music, it could be anything?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be brutally honest and humiliate myself. But really really into Vanderpump Rules on Bravo. It's something that I along with my boyfriend watch as if it's like a great drama of our time. When in fact it's just a reality show, but it is my greatest joy some Monday nights. And that's something I'm very into, and I'm very into keeping very close tabs on all of the characters of the show on Instagram.
Cool, that's awesome. And for everyone wanting to find you on social media, the Katie Dids are on Twitter, and Teachers
Yeah.
Series is on Twitter there as well. And you have your own Twitter, I believe.
Yes, I do. You can find me at Cate Freedman on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and the Katie Dids and Teacher Series are each on all of those platforms too.
And season 2 officially premieres on January 17th, and I can't wait to see the rest of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I really appreciate it.